Hey, it's Tuesday night in the dungeon with CyberBiss, and tonight I'm talking Kali Linux and bounty hunting for about 10 minutes if you want to stick around. All right, from last week I had a video. Just real quick, I'm going to recap last week. So last week we had a video that I was, or article that I was talking about in my video about Kali Linux 2022.3 VirtualBox installation tips and tricks. So I had two tips in here from my recent experience installation of installing the Kali Linux box that you see right here, this VirtualBox. Um, First one was that I did get a black screen after installing Kali, and the tip is going to be right here, these 5 steps here, and you can follow along in this video that I found from this nice person, whoever posted this, and that will help you with the black screen if you should get it. And then after that, you're going to find out in the new version of Kali, if you haven't done it in a while, which was the case for me, that they did away with the default root user. So as you can see, I'm typing root and then logging in over here, but that's only because I used this video down here to add my root user after the Kali installation. So head on over to my blog, lostinthecyberviz.com, if you have any of those issues or need help installing your Kali Linux 2022.3. All right, so this week we're moving forward with our Kali Linux install, and we're trying to do something productive with it. I did find this video. I wanted to focus maybe a week or two on bug bounty myself, and so I have a HackerOne account. I have a Hack the Box account. I think that, well, the HackerOne account is the one I would use for bug bounty. But again, I've never really done a bug bounty myself yet. So I'm new, and so I said, well, how am I going to learn to do it? So one of the first things is this video here I am going through. It's about 4 hours long. I'm only about 20 minutes into it, but I wanted to share this as I go through it. And some things are a little different, or maybe you have different experiences trying to do the same things. In this video, he talks about 2 tools. The first one is Sublist3r, and I will talk about that briefly because it leads into the second one, which is ffuf, which is Fuzz Faster You Fool. It covers these two in the video, and I do want to talk about them briefly and give you an alternative as well to ffuf, because it has some dangers. So the first one is Sublist3r, which I have over here. Yes, I do. Here we go. All right, so this is my Kali that I've had open since I think yesterday. So I was running this in my training and then picked it back up today. So Sublist3r is a tool that you're going to use to find out what domains are available. Come on. There it goes. All right. What domains and subdomains are available? Let me switch to full screen for the Kali. How about that one? There we go. All right. So you can see it better. So first we ran this Sublist3r tool, and you notice it has a funny name. The name of it's funny, right? It's Sublist3r. Going through the video, we ran a Sublist3r on Yahoo, and we got back all these subdomains. So when you're doing your recon, you're looking for your target. One of the first things they teach you to do is go find your domain, and you would use Sublist3r to do that. So the next tool, though, is where I kind of stopped, and it said, well, I want to, number one, figure out how to install it, because it doesn't install normal, right? It doesn't. It's ffuf, ffuf, Fuzz Faster You Fool. You actually have to go get it from the GitHub repository for ffuf, which is right here, and you'd go to github.com, and I'll have this in the video notes, and then it's /ffuf, /ffuf, and then /releases, and then here you'll see all the releases, the different releases. The version in the videos that I was looking at is a little bit older. Then this video is 1.02, and I'm not sure in this video which one, but the most recent one out is 1.5, and to pick the right version that you want, you would have to know what architecture you're on, and when I say architecture, I'm on a AMD or X/x86, which falls under this now, the 64-bit architecture. You would use this, same for the Intel and AMD, you just use this one. So this is the one I picked, and it was the same one that I believe he picked in the video as well. What I did is I used Kali Linux to download the file. Let me jump over to Kali. Come on, Kali. All right. So here is, yeah. So I just went up here and opened up Firefox. And then within Firefox, I went to GitHub and then downloaded the file by clicking on it, and then it moves to your download folder. I did move it to the desktop folder. So you can see I put ffuf in here. So here's ffuf. And I didn't use the command line. I just opened it here. And then I copied all these files here. Copy. And then I just pasted them into the folder where I wanted them to go, which was the ffuf folder that we put in the root. I pasted them in here. And then I did have to do one more step myself by making the ffuf file right here executable, which I did at the command line, which I'll show. So again, you won't install ffuf from the command line, and you'll copy the gzip file to your machine. You'll copy the contents out and into your ffuf folder that you're going to make on your root. And then, let's see. And then I was having problems getting it to run. Sorry, this is long. Here we go. And then, right here. Yep. So, and then I ran the chmod +x to make it executable for the ffuf. And then I was able to run, or right here, chmod x ffuf. And then once I did that, then I was able to run ffuf with the help command, so I could see that it is executing, and I can see all the switches and all the help. All right. So that's ffuf. I'm not going to run ffuf, but at least not in this video, I'm not going to do it. But I want to talk about, so what would happen is when you run ffuf, you're going to give it a word list, and that word list, it's going to take that word list wherever you get it from. And that's supposed to be subdirectories you're trying to get. And so imagine you're going to take search.yahoo.com, and then your fuzz list, your word list will have /ad, or will have an admin. So it'll go /admin. It'll make a HTTP call with that URL and wait and see if it gets a 200 back, which is okay, means good, that it's there. That's what you're trying to get. That's your goal. You want to find out where your 200s are, what are good URLs or not. 404s, again, 404 errors are not found, and for the blue team side, that's what you're going to be looking for the fuzzing attempts on the back end and on the logs for the server. On your end as a Recon, or a bad guy, or or a good guy, white hat, you're just looking for those 200s because those are good targets you want to focus on, right? All right, so you're just trying to get a list of good targets to go after. I'm going to give you an alternative because ffuf is noisy, and if you don't configure it first, which they always recommend, to kind of tone it down a bit so it's not just pounding a server, almost like a denial of service attack is usually what I've seen as a defender, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. All of a sudden you've got 40, 50 simultaneous connections all fuzzing at the same time, and it is quite obvious. Your ISP will see it on the outgoing. Your ISP that you're attacking will see it. And your ISPs may start talking, and they may just decide to cut you off. So if you're a problem child, they'll cut you out. So again, they recommend that you probably run this in a cloud server environment, and maybe run one on where you're not run it where you're not afraid to get burned or that kind of thing. You might have to jump from service to service. So I would offer you an alternative to ffuf. Um, Again, you could dial down ffuf so it's not so noisy. It'll be slower, right? And how many connections it's making out. The alternative I will share with you is this tool right here. It's been around a very long time. Just a different way of doing it. And this is HTTrack, which you can't see on the screen because I'm not showing it yet. Here we go. Gosh, Rick. All right. So HTTrack basically is a website copier, is how it's presented, and you have an amazing amount of options in the tool. I'll click on it here so you can see some of it. You can set up this tool to scan a particular directory. You can you can set this up to scan an entire domain. It will follow all the links just like Google does with their Google search. You can set it to follow links only internally. You can set it to follow links to external sites, and it will collect everything. And it will build, and you can have the options on here to set the build up so that it basically recreates the whole folder structure of the website. It will do it for you and will copy, and you can set it to also copy every GIF, every MP, any file that it sees referenced in a web page. You can tell it to actually download that file as well. So basically, it is a website copier, and I do recommend this as a potential alternative method to using a fuzzing tool. You would definitely get a feel of the structure of the site, and maybe for Recon that's all you need if you're trying to figure out if it's React or what the stack is. That might help you figure that out, and then you might find some directories, or you might even find, I don't know, you might find a vulnerability, just downloads or files that shouldn't be there, that are referenced that they think aren't referenced or thought they commented out. Interesting, right? So the website copier, HTTrack, will do all that for you. I've used it for, gosh, at least 15 to 20 years. It's been around a very long time. Highly recommend it. Again, it's not the exact same as fuzzing, but definitely they kind of do the same thing. The only thing different with the ffuf is you might guess something that is not publicly referenced anywhere in any web page somehow, and that's where you'll get lucky. But the amount of times you'll have to try your guesses and get caught guessing potentially with those 404s or 500 errors or whatever you're generating that are not 200s, you're probably going to stick out like a sore thumb, and the idea for me is not to do that. To stay in there as long as you can and not get caught, and but still find all the targets that you want to find. So I think there's a lot of open source other stuff too. I'll cover in another video that I find very helpful, that I think is a competitive way of searching for domains, subdomains. So I'll cover that in another video about Google dorking. So I guess that'll be it for tonight. I didn't want to do more than 10 minutes, but I wanted to talk about, again, just the progress I'm making with the Kali Linux 2022.3. Since I've got it installed and I'm installing more tools on here, I'm going through some bug bounty videos and I'm trying some of the tools that they're talking about, but I'm definitely seeing, again, being a blue team guy, exclamation points and red lights going off in my head about being too noisy in my own Recon when I'm doing it, as not to get caught. All right, so that's it. Maybe not for the week. I'll probably get an article out by the end of the week. I'm not sure what about yet. Something else will come up by the end of the week. I'm a very busy guy, working on a lot of different stuff. I may just do this or talk about ffuf and fuzzing a little bit and the alternate tools like HTTrack. That might be a good subject for me this week to get something out, which I try and do every week. So again, I hope this helps somebody in your cybersecurity journey. Keep coming back. I will continue to do more videos. Hopefully they'll get better and I will get better at this as well. Again, this is Cyberbis. This is Tuesday night in the dungeon. Thanks for hanging with me and happy hunting.